How's it going, guys? Welcome back to S3M2 Football and welcome to today's football preview video. For this one, we're looking at some midweek action taking place this week in the UEFA Champions League. For today's video, we will be focusing on the match taking place in Italy at the San Siro on the 6th of November, that is this Wednesday, that sees Inter Milan host Arsenal. We start off our team analysis here with the Nerazzurri. The last 5 fixtures for Inter Milan have ended in 4 wins and 1 draw. Their last match was a 1-0 win at home against Venezia in the Serie A earlier this weekend. In these last 5 fixtures, Inter have scored 10 goals and conceded just 4. So Inzaghi's team is getting goals, they're keeping it solid at the back. It's a great run for them right now. The first player I'd like to talk about for Inter Milan has got to be Argentine centre forward Lautaro Martinez. In 13 appearances, El Toro has scored 8 goals and contributed 5 assists. In Lautaro Martinez, I think Inter have a very quick, very strong finisher who has great fighting spirit. Lautaro Martinez is the type of centre forward who you see running after the ball from the first minute right up until the 90th. Next up, I want to talk about Italian central midfielder Nicolo Barella. In 10 appearances, Barella has scored 1 goal and provided 2 assists. With Barella, I think Inter have a midfielder who's got great vision, great passing, and he can get you finishes as well. But Barella's primary goal here is to just orchestrate things for his team from midfield and dictate the tempo at which the game is played. And finally, I want to talk about Italian left-back Federico Di Marco. In 12 appearances, Di Marco has scored 1 goal and provided 3 assists. With Di Marco, I think Inter have a force out wide on that left wing with tons of stamina, a lot of speed, and great passing range and accuracy. In terms of injuries for Inter, I think the Nerazzurri are still going to be missing left back Carlos Augusto and defensive midfielder Christian Arcelani. Despite that, I think coach Simone Inzaghi has all of the players he needs to be able to set his side up in their typical 3-5-2 formation. Inter are an exceptionally flexible team. This is a team that can play possession if you allow them to have the ball, and then they'll just slice you apart with all of these incisive moves with players like Calhanoglu or Barella at the heart of those moves, or they have enough players to play counter-attack as well. The right back of Denzel Dumfries and the left back of Federico Di Marco always have the energy, the stamina, and the speed to just spread the game out wide, while other players are moving into better goal-scoring opportunities in the center, or they're just going out wide on the other wing to just stretch the play even more. The strike duo up front of Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram has proven to be a metronome for this team. It is a fantastic partnership. Both of these players are always on the same page. One is either moving forward to receive the ball, while the other is looking to lay it off for them, and they know exactly when one needs to operate as that center forward and the other needs to operate as a support striker. And both of them can perform both of these roles exceptionally well. Onto the away team. Now, when we look at the Gunners, the last 5 fixtures for Arsenal have ended in 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. Arsenal's last match was a 1-0 loss away at Newcastle this weekend in the English Premier League. In these last 5 fixtures, Mikel Arteta's side have scored 6 goals and conceded 5 goals. So maybe things are slowly but surely starting to come apart for Arsenal, not getting results and conceding too many, also not getting enough up front. The first player I'd like to talk about for Arsenal has got to be English right winger Bukayo Saka. In 13 appearances, Saka has scored 4 goals and contributed 7 assists. With Bukayo Saka, I think Arsenal have a right winger who is quick, who's creative, who's got great ball control, he can assist, he can score. Bukayo Saka is always looking to just make something happen for his team. Next up, I want to talk about Ghanaian defensive midfielder Thomas Partey. In 14 appearances, Partey has scored just a single goal, But in this player, I think Arsenal have a holding midfielder who is strong, who's physical, and who's a box to box player. Partey has a lot of stamina. He's always willing and ready to make those difficult challenges, and he's not afraid to get bookings if it means saving his team from conceding a goal. For me, Thomas Partey is the ultimate team player in this Arsenal setup. And finally, I want to talk about French centre-back William Saliba. In 13 appearances, Saliba has no goals or assists as yet, but he's a typical centre-back, and I think he's one of the best centre-backs in the world right now. Saliba is strong, he's physical, but he's also intelligent. This is a player who knows exactly when he can use his physicality to win the ball, or when he needs to outsmart or outthink an opposition attacker and just nick the ball away from them when they least expect it. In terms of injuries for this side, I think Arsenal are still going to be without attacking midfielder Martin Odegaard, as well as right back Tomiyasu and left back Tiani. Nevertheless, I think coach Mikel Arteta still does have the players available to him to be able to set his team up in that 4-4-2 formation with that double number 6 pivot. I think Arsenal, just like Inter, are a very flexible team. This team can play possession if you let them have the ball. You'll see players like Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli then just trying to dribble their way through a stubborn defense, or they can play on the counter attack instead. Arsenal have more than enough quick players to be able to take advantage of space, and more than enough players with the passing range and accuracy to be able to pick those players out from range. The double pivot in midfield of probably Declan Rice and Thomas Partey will be there just to add stability to this team, to ensure they're more solid centrally, while the wingers, probably Bukayo Saka and maybe Leandro Trossard or Gabriel Martinelli on the other end, will be looking to provide some width and creativity for this team out wide. Either way, Arsenal will be looking to use their wings to penetrate the opposition and to just outmaneuver and outnumber them in those wide positions. Okay, on to the head to head. Now, Arsenal and Inter Milan have met only twice before, and it was one win for Inter and one win for Arsenal. In those two games, Inter scored 4 goals while Arsenal scored 5 goals. So it looks kind of even in that sense as well. If we look at the Champions League table right now, Arsenal are ninth with 7 points, while Inter are seventh, also on 7 points. So throughout all of these statistics, it looks very much like these two teams are very even Steven right now. With that last match being 20 years ago, it means that we can't really draw on that for any information as to how this match will go. None of the players playing today were playing in those teams, and it's sort of just a fresh approach for both of these sides. Both of these teams are highly flexible. They can both play possession or counter attack, depending on whatever situation they find themselves in. They can adapt very well, but I do think that in terms of doing what they want to do, which is keeping solid at the back and then getting goals, Inter are looking a lot better, not just in terms of their build-up coming into this one with them being unbeaten, but the fact that all 4 of the goals that Inter conceded all came in one match against Juventus. So it's 4 clean sheets out of 5 matches for the Nerazzurri, which is a fantastic statistic. For Arsenal, yeah, 2 losses, it doesn't look good. It's starting to seem like maybe Mikel Arteta's team have been found out, and teams perhaps now have found out how to dismantle Arsenal, or at least how to get one up on them in terms of getting goals. And at the end of the day, that's how you win a match, is just by scoring more goals. Arsenal have looked actually very good without Martin Odegaard. They've been playing fluid attacking football, but they have also shown that they can be frustrated, and they don't have that player in midfield anymore who can just unlock a defense centrally. They've proven to be very reliant on their wingers, Trossard or Gabriel Martinelli, and then Bukayo Saka, and these players, if they're isolated out on that end of the pitch, struggle to sometimes influence the game. And Bukayo Saka in particular has come up against a lot of fire in the media because he just doesn't seem to be the player that he was last season. This midfield triumvirate that Inter Milan have set up of Barella, Mkhitaryan and Hakan Çalhanoğlu just know exactly how to run the midfield, and they're going to be looking to do that in this match as well. You'll see Inter perhaps probably looking to monopolize the ball as much as they can, but looking to hit Arsenal whenever they can on the counter as well. So expect Inter to try and hit the net early and then just control the game. it will be down to Arsenal's midfielders in terms of Declan Rice and Thomas Partey to then win the ball back and make those difficult physical challenges to win it back and then just sort of get their team to counter attack or just sort of inject a bit of calmness into Arsenal's game. With both of these teams being equal on points, for these teams, this could probably feel like a final. This is a chance to not only further your own ambitions in this tournament, but to perhaps dent a very strong opposing team as well. I do think Inter look better here. I think collectively and individually, Simone Inzaghi's team seem to be a well-oiled machine. We haven't seen the best from players like Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram as yet, but they're still getting goals. Lautaro Martinez seems to have found his scoring boots again, which is fantastic for Inter. And I think the Nerazzurri are starting to just go from strength to strength. And I think they can really set a statement in the Champions League by beating this Arsenal team. I think, though, Arsenal will be looking to make the same statement. With this team getting poor results in the Premier League and struggling to just get all 3 points in the last 3 matches, I think Mikel Arteta is going to be hoping that his team can now make a name for themselves on the continental stage instead. But I just think that Inter Milan have far too much for this Arsenal team. I think the best that Arsenal can hope for in this one is actually a draw. My final prediction for this one is going to be Inter Milan 2, Arsenal 1. I think Simone Inzaghi's team are just too well-oiled, too well-drilled, too disciplined to come undone against this Arsenal team that seems to be all of those things in some matches and then the direct opposite in others. Hi, thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time and the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button. So you know exactly what to do. Thank you so much. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks. Stay safe.